Imagine working for years, chasing the dream career you were told would bring success, status, and financial freedom, only to realize one day that the very thing you worked so hard for wasn't actually giving you the life you wanted. That was me. I had landed a $300,000 banking job, the type of position people dream about, the kind that makes your family proud and strangers impressed. On the outside, it looked perfect. On the inside, though, I was crumbling. And it all changed when I learned three things that no one had ever taught me about money, happiness, and life. These three lessons were so powerful that they pushed me to walk away from the so-called dream job. And today I want to share them with you because they might just change the way you think about success too. But before we dive in, let me ask you a favor. If you've ever felt trapped in a job or lifestyle that looked great on paper but didn't feel right in your soul, then hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because the truth is, most people are living someone else's definition of success, and it's time to rewrite that story. When I first started in banking, it felt like I had finally made it. I had the salary, the bonuses, the lifestyle that came with it. I could afford the apartment in the city, the nice car, the vacations that looked good on Instagram. But beneath the surface, there was this constant feeling of emptiness. I told myself it was normal, that it was just part of paying my dues in a demanding industry. After all, everyone else around me seemed to be doing the same thing, working insane hours, sacrificing weekends, drowning in stress just to climb a ladder that promised bigger paychecks and fancier titles. What I didn't realize back then was that I was on a treadmill, running faster and faster but never actually moving closer to the life I truly wanted. The turning point came when I learned the first of three life-changing lessons: money is not freedom. This sounds almost contradictory. How could money not equal freedom? Everyone believes that if you earn more, you'll eventually be free. Free to quit, free to travel, free to live life on your own terms. But I was living proof that it's not true. The more money I made, the more trapped I became. My lifestyle inflated right along with my income. I upgraded my apartment. I dined at expensive restaurants. I bought clothes that matched the image of a successful banker. And with each upgrade, I became more dependent on that paycheck. Instead of buying freedom, I was buying chains that kept me tied to a job I didn't love. I realized that freedom doesn't come from how much money you earn, it comes from how much money you need to live a life that fulfills you. The lower your needs, the freer you become. This was a shocking revelation for me because I had been trained to always want more. But the truth was, more wasn't making me happier. The second lesson I learned was about time. In banking, your time is never your own. You're constantly on call, working late nights, and always thinking about the next deal or the next client. I told myself it was temporary, that once I reached a certain level I'd finally get to breathe. But the reality was, the higher up I went, the more demanding it became. I remember one night leaving the office at 2 a.m., exhausted, my eyes burning from staring at spreadsheets all day, and thinking to myself, what's the point of making $300,000 a year if I don't even have the time to enjoy a single moment of it? That night it hit me: time is the real currency of life, not money. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. And the job I was in was robbing me of the one thing I could never get back. I started looking at my colleagues who were 10 or 20 years ahead of me. They had the corner offices, the bigger salaries, the recognition, but they also looked tired, stressed, and disconnected from their families. Some of them had health issues from years of neglecting their bodies in the pursuit of success. It was like looking into a crystal ball at my own future, and I didn't like what I saw. That's when I realized that staying in this career wasn't just costing me time now, it was stealing time from my future. If I didn't make a change, I was going to wake up one day wondering where my life went. The third lesson I learned was about purpose. Money can buy comfort, it can buy luxury, but it can't buy meaning. I thought making six figures would automatically make me feel fulfilled. I thought the admiration of others would validate me. But instead, I felt empty. Every deal closed felt like just another number on a scoreboard that didn't matter. There was no deeper purpose in what I was doing, no real contribution that made me feel alive. When I asked myself if I would keep doing this job if the money disappeared, the answer was a resounding no. That was the wake-up call. If I wouldn't do it without the money, then maybe it wasn't the right path for me. Once those three lessons clicked: money is not freedom, time is the real currency, and purpose matters more than a paycheck, I couldn't ignore them. They kept me awake at night, questioning everything I had built my identity on. Walking away from a $300,000 salary wasn't easy. It meant dismantling the lifestyle I had created, downsizing my expenses, and letting go of the ego boost that came with telling people what I did for a living. But the trade-off was worth it because what I gained was priceless. I gained control of my time. I gained the freedom to explore passions that I had buried for years. I gained a sense of purpose that no paycheck could ever give me. It wasn't an overnight decision. I spent months preparing, saving aggressively, cutting back on unnecessary expenses, and building a cushion that would give me room to breathe once I quit. I started investing in myself, learning new skills, and exploring what I really wanted to do outside of banking. The funny thing is, the more I simplified my life, the happier I became. I didn't need the fancy car or the expensive apartment. What I needed was freedom, and freedom came from aligning my life with my values, not from inflating my lifestyle to impress others. Today, I don't make $300,000 a year, but I wake up every morning excited about the work I do. I spend more time with the people I love. I take care of my health. I pursue projects that light me up inside. And most importantly, I feel alive again. I share this story because I know so many people are trapped in the same cycle I was, chasing money, sacrificing time, and ignoring purpose. But you don't have to stay stuck. You can redefine success on your own terms. The truth is, the system we live in is designed to keep you chasing the next raise, the next promotion, the next status symbol. But the chase never ends unless you step off the treadmill and ask yourself what really matters. For me, it was about reclaiming my time, aligning with my purpose, and breaking free from the illusion that money equals happiness. For you, it might look different, but the core lessons remain the same. If you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall. So I want to leave you with this. Take a moment today to reflect on your own life. Are you working a job you love? Or just one that pays the bills? Are you spending your time in ways that bring you joy? Or are you constantly wishing for the weekend? And most importantly, are you living with purpose? Or are you drifting through life waiting for some future moment to finally feel fulfilled? Because here's the hard truth, the future isn't promised. The time to change your life isn't someday, it's today. I know this was a long story, but if even one part of it resonated with you, then take it as a sign. Don't wait for burnout, or a health scare, or years to pass you by before you make a change. Start now. Build the life you actually want, not the one others expect you to live. That's what real success looks like. Now, if this video spoke to you, I want to invite you to take action. Subscribe to this channel for more conversations like this. Share this with someone who needs the reminder that money isn't everything. And most importantly, start asking yourself the hard questions about what kind of life you really want to live. Because at the end of the day, quitting my $300,000 job wasn't about giving up success, it was about finally defining success for myself. And that's something no paycheck can ever replace.